Have you ever wondered about, the really intricate mechanics of superpowers, or maybe the shadowed corners of a society totally driven by heroes? Today, we're diving headfirst into a world where, 80% of humanity has some kind of special ability. My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
It's this huge, modern epic, right? Incredible characters, amazing action. But beneath all that flashy stuff, there's this really rich, complex universe. So many surprising facts and hidden depths.
It's true. And we're going beyond just the battles today. We're going to explore how this series uses its fantastical setting to tackle some really profound themes.
Like what?
Well, systemic inequality, for starters, the societal roots of villainy and what it truly means to be a hero when, power is basically the norm.
Right.
So our mission today is to kind of give you a shortcut to really understanding this universe. We're drawing on everything, the manga, the anime, the official data books, even creator interviews.
So you walk away with a really well-informed perspective on this, fascinating cultural phenomenon.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into this Superhuman Society. A world just utterly transformed by Quirks. It's set in this near-futuristic Japan, but somehow it still manages to feel incredibly familiar.
And that grounded feeling, it's actually essential to the story.
Yeah.
Talk about fictional places like Musutafu fans usually place it near Shizuoka, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Or Diga City, which is specifically modeled after a real-world town, Owari-Asahi. And the creator, Horikoshi, even weaves in real locations like Fukuoka and Shibuya for major events. It really anchors the whole narrative in something tangible,
It certainly does. But here's something I find kind of curious. Quirks appeared centuries ago, right? Led to global chaos. Yet the world map in the series looks, largely unchanged. Stable borders, static geopolitics, some might call that an oversight, but the report suggests it's actually a deliberate narrative choice.
Yeah, and when you look at the bigger picture, this static world map, it actually intensifies the stakes. By keeping the global political landscape familiar, the story's conflict gets focused almost entirely within Japan.
Ah, okay.
This amplifies the national significance of All Might, the symbol of peace. He becomes the singular figure who pacified Japan's internal chaos. So his eventual fall isn't just some global event, it becomes a uniquely Japanese catastrophe. It turns their internal ideological war into something, truly monumental.
Wow, that reframes so much, makes the personal stakes feel incredibly high. And speaking of governance, there's the Hero Public Safety Commission, the HPSC,
Right.
a cabinet-level body that basically regulates all hero activity, issuing licenses, administering exams, compiling the Hero Billboard Chart JP that ranks heroes. It sounds like a super organized, almost bureaucratic government agency.
On the surface, yes, it looks very structured. But digging a bit deeper, the HPSC has this much darker underbelly.
Oh.
Yeah, the sources highlight their, let's say, clandestine operations, like grooming children with powerful quirks. Think of Hawks, right? Trained from a really young age for espionage.
Seriously. And even more chilling, they employ state-sanctioned assassins, like Lady Nagant, to eliminate threats completely off the books. All of this is done to maintain the public's perception of, pure heroism, no matter the actual cost.
Child spies and secret assassins, working for the good guys. That's a serious moral tightrope walk for public safety.
It certainly brings up a powerful dilemma, doesn't it? Can good truly exist if it's maintained by these, morally compromised, shadowy methods? The HPSC kind of embodies this central contradiction.
How so?
They institutionalize the very hypocrisy that characters like the hero killer, Stain, the vigilante who thought the hero system was corrupt, rail against. It suggests the fragile line between the established heroic order and villainous chaos is maintained by an authority willing to, sacrifice its own ideals.
It's like they're preserving the idea of heroism through decidedly unheroic means.
Wow. And this hero-centric culture has definitely created a social hierarchy where your quirk often dictates your place in society.
Oh, absolutely. We see systemic discrimination against mutant-type quirks, or Igyush. Those cause permanent physical alterations.
Right, like Shoji or Suyu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Individuals with these quirks, like Spinner, or even someone who looks heroic like Gang Orca, often face prejudice and fear. Sometimes they're just seen as villainous looking.
That's rough.
And this can fuel radical groups like the Creature Rejection Clan, who advocate for mutant-type rights, sometimes violently.
And then at the absolute bottom, you have the quirkless, the Mukose, about 20% of the population, right?
Izuku Midoriya's early struggles are a prime example of their marginalization. Though, admittedly, the narrative doesn't deeply explore this wider societal discrimination beyond his personal story as much as it could have.
Still, it sets the stage.
And what becomes clear is that this rigid societal structure acts as a kind of, well, a villain factory.
A villain factory.
Yeah. Individuals rejected by society for their innate characteristics, or quirks or lack thereof, are often driven into the arms of villainous organizations, groups that offer them the acceptance and purpose they were denied.
Like the League of Villains.
Precisely. They actively recruit from this marginalized underclass, championing ideologies of quirk liberation. It's a tragic, self-fulfilling prophecy, really.
It truly is a cycle. And speaking of societal divides, there's that huge technological gap in this world. Civilian tech often looks like, what, early 21st century flip phones?
Yeah, pretty basic stuff.
But heroes have hyper-advanced support items, AI, robots, even UA High turning into a flying fortress. Why such a stark difference?
Well, the in-universe explanation traces back to the chaos after Quirks first appeared. Public technological development basically stagnated. Resources were then overwhelmingly redirected towards quirk-related advancements for heroes and for containment.
But the implication here is pretty profound, isn't it? This isn't just some historical artifact, it reflects the power structure.
Exactly. This advanced technology is tightly controlled by the state and the elite, effectively reinforcing this whole hero-industrial complex.
How so?
By limiting civilian access to powerful tools, it maintains the existing power balance. It keeps the general population dependent and, in a way, technologically stagnant. It's a subtle but really effective form of social control.
Man, that adds another layer. Okay, let's turn back the clock now, because this isn't just about present-day Japan. It's a story steeped in this huge generational conflict spanning over a century. This age of quirks truly kicks off about, 150 years before the main story?
Indeed. And while the luminescent baby is widely believed to be the first quirk, official databooks actually confirm the true first user was the mother of the two brothers who would define this entire era. All for One, and the first user of One for All.
Whoa, so it all started within that family. Okay, so All for One, born Zen Shigaraki. He rises as this dominant underworld kingpin, using his ability to steal and bestow quirks.
And his younger brother, Yoichi, who was initially quirkless, opposes him. In this misguided attempt to control Yoichi, All for One forcibly gives him a power stockpiling quirk.
But here's the twist, right?
The big twist. It merges with Yoichi's own latent quirk, the ability to pass on a power, and that's how One for All is created.
Mind blown.
This is truly foundational for the entire series. As society struggled to adapt, we see the rise of things like quirk marriages.
Eugenic stuff, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And vigilantes, eventually leading to the formal hero system we know today. Throughout all this chaos, One for All is secretly passed down through its second and third users, continuing the fight against All for One's growing influence.
Then we reach Nana Shimura, the seventh user, and All Might's mentor. Her sacrifice against All for One is huge.
Absolutely. And then All Might Toshinori Yagi, who is just a quirkless teenager at the time, inherits One for All from her.
And in this devastating battle with All for One, All Might wins, but sustains that life-altering injury he has to hide from everyone.
Right. Which ushers in his era as the seemingly invincible symbol of peace. A facade, really, that masks a truly fragile peace.
Which brings us right up to the present day, where a weakened All Might meets Izuku Midoriya and passes One for All to him.
You see, this isn't actually a new conflict for Izuku. It's the final climactic chapter of a generational war that has shaped the entire history of this superhuman society.
Wow.
The story you follow is the culmination of 8 generations of struggle. It's an ideological battle that has been brewing for over a century.
That really reframes everything, doesn't it? Knowing this struggle is such a powerful legacy. And at the heart of it all are quirks themselves. Let's talk about the science and ethics of these powers, how they work, and this terrifying quirk singularity theory.
Okay, so quirks are presented as biological phenomena, right? Not magic. They're tied to a quirk factor. And there's that detail about the pinky toe joint. Its absence in 80% of the population indicates a quirk factor. They usually manifest by age 4.
But the big worry comes from Dr. Kyurei Garaki, All for One's creepy physician. He proposes the quirk singularity theory. Basically a doomsday hypothesis. He believes quirks will eventually become too powerful, too complex for human bodies to handle, leading to societal collapse.
And what's compelling here is that even if the heroes win the immediate battle against All for One, this biological threat still looms over everything.
Like a ticking clock.
Exactly. Characters like Eerie with her uncontrollable rewind quirk, Tomura Shigaraki with his overwhelming decay, and even Dabi, whose fire quirk literally destroys his own body. They're all presented as sort of living proof that this singularity might be approaching.
So victory might just be buying time.
It suggests a tragic urgency, yeah, implying that victory might only be buying precious time, not solving the fundamental problem of quirks themselves.
Yikes! It's a ticking clock you can't just punch away. So how are these incredible powers officially categorized?
Officially, there are three main types. The most common are emitter quirks. They let users generate, control, or manipulate effects outside their body. Think Bakugo's explosion or Todoroki's half-cold, half-hot. You consciously activate them. Then there are transformation quirks, which are rarer. They allow temporary physical alterations. Yeah, Kirishima's hardening is a good example.
Okay.
And finally, mutant quirks. These cause permanent physical alterations, like Sui's frog abilities. These are always on, you can't really turn them off, and they can't be nullified by powers like Aizawa's erasure.
Right, and then there's that rare thing, a quirk awakening.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Where an individual's power dramatically evolves, usually under extreme stress. We saw it with Himiko Toga and spectacularly with Tomura Shigaraki. It's like a sudden explosive level up.
Intense.
Exactly. But the two most significant quirks, both ideologically and narratively, have got to be one for all and all for one.
Okay, one for all. Stockpiles immense physical power, it's transferable. And crucially, it stores the quirks and the conscious vestiges of its previous 8 users. Izuku Midoriya is the first one to really access those, right?
Mm-hmm. But there's that huge limitation we talked about. It drastically shortens the lifespan of users who already have a quirk.
Meaning only a quirkless person, like Izuku was, can safely bear its full power.
Correct. And all for one is its polar opposite. It forcibly steals quirks and can grant them to others.
So how does this connect to the bigger picture?
Well, the greater context here is that these aren't just quirks. They're like metaphysical representations of opposing ideals.
Yeah.
One for all is collective, right? Built on shared will, trust, sacrifice. The vestiges of past users literally guide the current one.
Okay.
All for one is singular. It's built on theft, domination. The stolen quirks kind of haunt its user. So the final battle isn't just punches, it's an ideological war played out through their powers.
It's fascinating how the very mechanics reflect their core philosophies. Now let's zoom in on the characters right at the heart of this conflict, starting with Izuku Midoriya. He comes from a seemingly ordinary family, dad working abroad, never really seen.
Right. And Izuku, of course, starts as quirkless, one of that 20% of the population just left behind by evolution, basically, which led to immense bullying, particularly from his childhood friend, Katsuki Bakugo.
Yeah, their relationship is complex. But what's truly compelling here is how Izuku embodies that argument that true heroism is about character, about self-sacrifice, not just innate power.
Absolutely. His unwavering desire to save others, even when he was powerless, is what catches All Might's eye.
And his quirkless origin also makes him the perfect, safe vessel for One for All. He can bear its full weight without that shortened lifespan, a fate that would hit anyone born with their own quirk who tried to hold it.
And in stark contrast, we have Tomura Shigaraki. Originally Tenko Shimura, his lineage is just deeply tragic.
Yeah, he's the grandson of Nana Shimura, right, the 7th OFA user, All Might's mentor.
Exactly. And his father, Kotaro, resented heroes because he felt abandoned by his heroic mother. This created a really abusive home environment for Tenko.
And then his own devastating decay quirk manifested traumatically. He accidentally killed his entire family.
And society just ignored him. He was literally wandering the streets covered in blood, and people just looked away. Until All for One found him.
Saved him.
Right. Saved him, groomed him, gave him the name Tomura Shigaraki, turning him into the symbol of fear. The report even suggests All for One orchestrated the whole thing, giving him the decay quirk just days before his family died.
Oh man, that's dark.
This tragic backstory really highlights a crucial question. What happens when hero society fails those in need? Shigaraki's story is this catastrophic convergence of generational trauma, abuse, societal apathy. It makes him seem like an almost unavoidable outcome of the system itself, rather than just some random act of evil.
He's like a dark mirror to the heroes.
Exactly. He's the living embodiment of what happens when someone desperate for a hero is failed at every single level. Truly saving him would mean confronting and fixing the profound societal flaws that created him in the first place.
Absolutely, it makes you question the whole system. And for all this incredible world building, we have to look at the author himself, Keiichi Horikoshi. His vision, it's heavily influenced by his love for American superhero comics, right?
Yeah.
Superman, Spider-Man.
And classic shonen manga like Dragon Ball, All Might, with his Detroit smash and everything, is a very direct homage to those Western heroes.
And Horikoshi has talked about his core philosophy for heroism being Anshinkan.
Yes, Anshinkan. It's this profound sense of safety and reassurance. He said it's what he felt when Goku arrived to save the day in Dragon Ball. That became the foundational principle for All Might as the symbol of peace. That feeling of, it's okay now, because he's here.
That's powerful. And his world-building philosophy is interesting, too. He apparently has extensive backstories for tons of characters, like all the previous OFA users.
Yeah.
But he intentionally leaves most of it out of the manga. He compared it to Terminator 2, saying it makes the world feel larger, more expansive, if you leave some things to the imagination.
Which is brilliant, honestly, because it totally encourages the community to engage and speculate, fill in the gaps. And speaking of the community, understanding the canon landscape of My Hero Academia is pretty crucial for fans, isn't it?
Definitely. Things can get confusing with anime, movies, spin-offs. So at the top, primary canon is the manga itself. That's the definitive source. And the official databooks like Ultra Archive, Ultra Analysis, they have exclusive author-confirmed lore.
Right. Then comes secondary canon. That's primarily the anime adaptation. Studio Bones generally does a faithful job, but there are structural changes sometimes. Remember the reordering of arcs in season 5?
Oh yeah, that was a bit weird.
And there's some censorship compared to the manga and, of course, anime original filler episodes. Still very close, but not 1.1.
And finally, tertiary or loosely canon. This includes the feature films. Horikoshi supervises them. They technically fit into the timeline, and film characters might even get little manga cameos.
Like Star and Stripe mentioning the first movie villain.
Exactly. But the movie events themselves are generally self-contained. Spin-off manga like Vigilantes and the light novels also tend to fall into this category.
It's a useful hierarchy. Helps navigate the vastness of the franchise, gives you a clear sense of what is absolutely true to the core story versus supplementary material.
And this next point offers a crucial perspective, especially for the fans. The unresolved mysteries and all the theories. Even as the manga races towards its conclusion, some big questions are still kind of hanging out there.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, for example, the true origin of Quirks. Still largely a mystery, right?
Pretty much. We know about them, but not the exact why or how they started beyond that first family.
And the fate of Izuku's father, Hisashi Midoriya, mentioned once as working abroad with a fire-breathing quirk them? Nothing. That's a huge lingering question for a lot of people.
Definitely fuels a lot of speculation. And there's also the zero user of One for All, the original user of the stockpiling quirk that merged with Yoichi's transfer quirk. Their vestige is conspicuously absent from Izuku's mental landscape. Unlike the others, where are they? What happened?
It's incredible how engaged the community is, constantly trying to fill in these gaps, and some fan theories actually did come true, which is always exciting.
Like Dabi being Toya Todoroki, that was a big one people called for years.
Right. And Aoyama being the UA traitor, that reveal hit hard.
It's always satisfying when those long-held fan suspicions are validated. Shows the community's really paying attention to the foreshadowing.
On the flip side, some really compelling theories were never confirmed or got debunked eventually. Remember the whole Dad for One theory?
Oh yeah, the idea that All for One was secretly Izuku's absent father. That was popular for a while.
And then there was the idea that the series would end with all quirks vanishing, maybe through Erie's rewind quirk being used on a massive scale.
But the actual ending seems focused more on rebuilding society with quirks, dealing with the aftermath, which ultimately disproved that particular theory.
It truly demonstrates the power of a well-crafted world, doesn't it? To spark that level of imagination and continued engagement from its audience makes the world feel even more alive through all that shared speculation. So, to bring it all together, what does this deep dive really reveal about My Hero Academia? We've seen how it's far more than just, flashy superpowers. It's really a masterclass in world building that tackles huge issues. Systemic inequality, the weight of legacy, the very definition of heroism.
Yeah.
It's a story where the lines between good and evil are often incredibly blurred, and society itself plays this profound role in creating its own villains.
The series truly shows how a society shapes both its heroes and its villains. It makes it a really powerful allegory for challenges we even face in our own world. The lore reveals this universe constantly grappling with the consequences of profound change and the moral compromises made just to maintain some kind of order.
So considering everything we've unpacked today, if quirks were actually real, how do you think our society would adapt? And maybe more chillingly, what unheroic measures might a governing body like the HPSC secretly take to maintain order and that elusive sense of safety?
That leads us right to a key ethical dilemma, doesn't it? What is the true cost of peace? And who ultimately pays the price for maintaining that order?